In this video we'll show you how to activate, upgrade and commission the inverter using the SolarEdge Inverter Set App mobile application. Install Set App from the Google Play Store or App Store. Once download is completed, open the app. You are now at the Set App login page. If you don't already have a SolarEdge account, tap Sign Up here for an Android device. For an iOS device, tap Forgot Your Password. Tap Return to the login page. And then tap Click here. Once you have a SolarEdge account, log in using your SolarEdge account credentials. Note that Set App is meant to be used by qualified SolarEdge installers only. Tap Start to continue. You are asked to allow Set App to use your location and camera, which is required for the commissioning process. The app automatically checks the SolarEdge server for relevant firmware updates. If one is found, then the new firmware version is downloaded and stored locally on your smartphone. To ensure that you have the most up-to-date firmware, run Set App when your smartphone is connected to the internet, prior to going on site. Next, scan the inverter QR code. This code can be found on the QR code sticker located on one of the sides of the inverter. Move the on/off P switch to P and release within 2 seconds. The inverter creates a Wi-Fi connection with your smartphone. If you're using an iOS device, approve connection to the inverter's Wi-Fi network by clicking Join. Once Wi-Fi is connected, tap Continue to begin the inverter firmware upgrade. Now the firmware file is uploaded and installed on the inverter. Installing the firmware may take a few minutes. During that time, you can connect to another device. Once the firmware installation is completed, the inverter enters the activation process. When activation is completed, a confirmation screen is displayed. Tap Start Commissioning. From the commissioning menu, tap Country and Language. Here you set the country and grid. Note that by default, the Set App interface language is synchronized with your smartphone language settings. Tap the back arrow to return to the main menu. Next we're going to configure the communications. From the main menu tap Monitoring Communication. The inverter automatically chooses the best communication option available. The different communication options depend on your region and hardware configuration. For example, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, or cellular. If you wish to change the auto-selected communication option, tap Change Connection Type. Then tap Yes. In this example we'll show how to connect to a Wi-Fi network. Select Wi-Fi and tap Done. To set up a Wi-Fi connection, tap Configure Wi-Fi. From the list of available networks, choose the network you'd like to connect to. Enter the password for the selected Wi-Fi network and tap Join. The status of the connection is displayed below the network name. Tap the back arrow to return to the Wi-Fi connection status screen. The status is updated within a few seconds. Your inverter is now communicating with the SolarEdge server via Wi-Fi. Tap the back arrow to return to the main menu. Go to Site Communication if the inverter needs to communicate with another inverter, meter or other on-site component for further configuration. Tap the back arrow to return to the main menu. Next we will pair the power optimizers to the inverter. The power optimizers will not start producing power until they are paired. Pairing must be performed when the solar modules are exposed to sunlight. From the main menu, select Pairing. Tap Start Pairing. Pairing may take a few minutes. During that time, you can go back to the main menu and perform other configurations. When pairing complete is displayed, tap OK to return to the main menu. Before it starts to produce power, the inverter automatically makes sure that the power it's producing matches the grid parameters. This is called grid monitoring. Once grid monitoring is initiated, you see the banner at the top of the screen. Let's go now to the status screen and verify system readiness. Verify that once grid monitoring is completed, you can see the power increase in the power box. Check the number of power optimizers in the screen matches the number of power optimizers installed and connected to the inverter. Verify the connection to the monitoring platform. SOK in the server communication box indicates a successful connection. If additional components were configured, scroll down to verify that they were properly set. The system is now successfully configured and producing power. You are all set to activate, upgrade, and commission your SolarEdge inverter using Set app.